Welcome, Mr. Denome, and welcome to this crypto update. Now, this week, I think we will see a green weekly candle. So I'm bullish for this week because the momentum seems to favor a bullish breakout. So let me show you exactly what I mean by all of this using just the technicals. First, we will look at the news afterwards, and then at the end, we will also look at the fundamentals. But before we do that, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you like this kind of content, and also, if you have not signed up for femex.com yet, make sure to do so if you want to. Now, if you sign up, you can get up to $4,800 in welcome rewards. There's no KYC to get started. And also, the fees are extremely low when you trade on this exchange. Basically, half the fees to compared to exchanges like Bybit.com when you do futures trading, when you long or when you short. Only thing you need to do is use my invitation code or my referral link down in the description. Now, let me actually show you the technical analysis first and why I'm bullish for this week. Number one is what I already showed you in my previous crypto update, where I said that we will likely get a bounce from 100K or 99K, and then Bitcoin actually had a bounce from $100,500. And from there, it actually had a very nice reversal already. And on the chart, we had these higher lows on the chart, and also the RSI supported all of these moves. And at the end here, we can see a bullish divergence which actually materialized into this parabolic 50% move on the Bitcoin price. And now basically the same thing is repeating, which is that we have these higher lows on the RSI, and now we also have this bullish divergence here on the RSI as well. And then what I do expect is that we will start to see a parabolic move quite soon. Now, there's another thing that I saw here in the chart that I will show you now as well. And it is this candlestick here. And this, I believe it is called the hammer candlestick. And usually it comes as a reversal signal to the upside. So what it means is that with the start of the week, the price started to push to the downside, and then basically the buyers came in and bought back the whole move to the same level where the week started from. And typically when this happens, the momentum continues to go to the upside. We have new investors in the market, a strong reaction point to the price. So buyers basically want to get in at these prices. When we look at when this candlestick has happened in the Bitcoin price before, there's a couple of times that I can point to. Here is one successful one. Here is another successful one. And here is another successful one. And then you can see here is another successful one. This was actually a failed one. This was a successful one, even though the bullish momentum only lasted for a week, and then it reversed. Here is another successful one, and here is another one, and also I saw one here. So usually when you see this candlestick, it is bullish for Bitcoin, but not all the times. So for instance, here you can see that it actually failed. We saw the candlestick, but then Bitcoin price continued to go to the downside. This one is called a hanging man. It happens when the price is on a swing high, and then you see this pattern. It is actually a reversal pattern to the downside, but usually another one is I saw one. Where is it? Here. Here is another one. Sorry, right about here. But all in all, typically this during a bullish momentum phase, this is typically the time where you can see that a pullback has basically ended. Now, it's not a guarantee that Bitcoin price will continue to go to the upside, but if you look at the times we see this candlestick, when it has been successful, when it has not been successful, I think most often than not, it is a successful indicator. So most likely we will go to the upside. Now Trump or Elon Musk can have another fight. World War III can break out. Who knows what can happen? The things can change, but most likely the bullish momentum will continue to go to the upside. That is my expectation. And also, if I just go in the short term, let me just do the full technical analysis this time at the beginning, and then I will look at the other stuff. Let's go to the 4-hour view. You can see that we had this trend line forming here, and that actually was broken to the upside already. So that is another bullish breakout. We are yet to basically break out of this resistance line here. So I think that will happen next. But before we have that bullish breakout, I think we'll have one more fake out to the downside before we break out. So this is kind of my expectation for this week. Something like this. We could even try to break out and then go like this. That is basically my expectation. All in all, that we go and tag these lows like $103,000 first, and then we'll have a breakout at the end of the week. That's my expectation for this week. Now it may not play out like that, but this is currently my my base case. Now let me actually show you the news that we saw since my last crypto update, and the big one is again coming from Donald Trump, and he is now, or the Trump media company has registered up to $12 billion in new securities in a new S3 filing, and this is most likely going to be used to buy Bitcoin, maybe some other cryptos as well, but I think they're going to buy Bitcoin. And more importantly than this $12 billion worth of buy pressure, I believe that this is a signal for other companies that Trump is not bluffing on this topic, that he is actually serious. Trump wants to buy his bags full before the United States government comes in and starts buying Bitcoin. So I think other companies are now FOMOing in like crazy when they see something like this happening. So I think this is hugely bullish, and the retail investors are still missing out completely, in my opinion. And then Michael Saylor, he once again posted this chart. He's gonna buy more Bitcoin maybe in the next 12 to 24 hours. We will get the announcement. Then No Labs Inc. has announced that it will also adopt a Bitcoin treasury strategy, and they are now holding 1,000 Bitcoin already. And then Japanese publicly traded company Remix Point has bought $4.7 million worth of Bitcoin. And then agricultural commodity trading company Davis Commodities will buy $4.5 million worth of Bitcoin for their reserves and calls it digital gold. So more companies are jumping in on the bandwagon. And here's another big one, which is that MetaPlanet, which we have been covering for multiple weeks now, they previously had bought 8,888 Bitcoin using their Bitcoin strategic treasury reserve strategy, or whatever you want to call it. Now they plan to buy 200,000 more Bitcoin by the end of 2027. And this is huge. 200,000 Bitcoin of buy pressure. Obviously, this is going to be bullish. Maybe they will not be able to buy this full amount, even if they go halfway or even 1/4 of the way. That is still a lot of buy pressure on the markets, and that is obviously good for us. Now, this is obviously creating a kind of a Ponzi scheme or a pyramid scheme situation. And eventually, I think it will collapse and the asset will go down significantly more than we can even expect. But as of now, as of 2025, I don't think it will actually blow up. I think we will see a much bigger mania and much higher prices before this bubble actually bursts. So for this, I do believe that maybe 2026, 2027, we will see a major crash in the Bitcoin price, but 2025 doesn't seem to be that case, even though Elon Musk has now come out and said that there will be a recession in the second half of this year because of Trump's tariffs. Now, there was a big feud between Trump and Musk And I'm not going to get into the whole thing, but I think, or my take is that Trump will win and Musk will lose this feud. Because at the end of the day, Trump is the president of the United States, he controls the Senate, and Musk is simply one rich dude who happened to sponsor and help Trump get into power. And Trump doesn't need Musk for really anything. And it seems the opposite way. Musk kind of already came out apologizing. But all in all, I think what will happen is that the big, beautiful bill, which by the way is a Trojan horse, it will release unregulated AI and basically military AI technology on the United States citizens and also against non-US citizens. That is hidden somewhere in the bill. Look it up. 10 years. Individual states cannot regulate AI, and that is for the benefit of Palantir. So that is absolutely horrifying. I hate it. It is the case, but all in all, that bill also will increase the debt limit by $4 trillion. And I think the markets are betting that the bill will pass because we saw after this huge feud between Musk and Trump, the markets tanked, but afterwards the markets already recovered completely. So what I believe is that Musk will lose this fight and Trump will win this fight and the big beautiful bill will pass as it is. Maybe some concessions, I don't know how it actually works, but I think most of it will unfortunately pass and the good parts or the bad parts are left inside as Trojan horses. But all in all, this was a situation, so I just wanted to comment on it that it happened. And then also Circle, it actually now got listed in the New York Stock Exchange. This means that index stock investors are now basically forced to buy Bitcoin using a new proxy called Circle because Circle holds Bitcoin and they want to acquire more Bitcoin and they also obviously invest into different cryptos as well or altcoins. So this is good news for crypto investors as well. So all in all, pretty good news throughout the last week, and that's basically it for the news. Now let me actually go over to the fundamental side and let's take a look at the ETFs first. So here over the last few weeks, we have actually seen more selling than buying, and this is not usually what we like to see. I think this week this will change and we will see green candles once again because Trump is buying and the FOMO is increasing on the corporate Bitcoin side. So I think the ETFs will follow that FOMO. But that has been the case here, so I just wanted to highlight it here. Then going over to sentiment and looking at the fundamentals, last week we saw a huge amount of Bitcoin leaving exchange reserves, and that trend has actually continued through the rest of the week as well. And this is obviously bullish because people the opposite is bearish because when people deposit Bitcoin on exchanges, the reason for that is that they want to sell off their Bitcoin. When it's being taken out of exchanges, it usually means that they want to hold it long term. So this is fundamentally speaking bullish. Also on the fundamental side, actually I should comment on this. I talked with the sentiment team because this drop seemed too high for me. It didn't seem realistic, and they actually say that they do not follow all the wallets that exchanges have. They are trying their best, but they are not tracking all of the different wallets most likely. So that's why they are currently following only 5.94% of the total Bitcoin supply as held by exchange reserves. Now, if you go over to Crypto Quant, I think their number is a little bit more accurate on this specific metric. And they are basically saying that 12% of the Bitcoin supply is held by exchange reserves. But even here, you can clearly see that the trend is that Bitcoin is leaving exchanges, not entering exchanges. And even as Bitcoin is basically nearing all-time highs, the rate at which Bitcoin is leaving exchanges is basically only accelerating, signaling to me that Bitcoin still has much more upside to go, and we're nowhere near this cycle top. So that's why, even though this metric is a little bit inaccurate, I think it's giving us a solid indicator where the markets are headed. Also, when you look at the amount of stable coins on their market cap, we saw a nice increase, almost $2 billion last week. So right now, the speed at which we see new stable coins entering the markets is roughly 2 billion stable coins per week, which is on the chart here, it doesn't look like a lot, but when you think about the market cap of stablecoins, the adoption rate is absolutely massive if it's $2 billion per week, because on a yearly basis, that means that the stablecoin market cap will increase roughly 25% per year. So that is a huge increase, obviously, and we're not talking about millions, we're talking about almost trillions of dollars soon. Almost $1 trillion soon. So it's a huge thing. And then let's actually look at the short-term fundamentals as well, and then I will end the video. So on the short-term fundamentals, I unfortunately see a little bit conflicting data here. So looking at the spot order book depth, we can see that basically when Bitcoin had this pullback to roughly $105,000, we saw a lot of Bitcoin buy limit orders entering the order books. But after that the Trump Elon Musk feud and the Bitcoin price going to 100K, after that, after this recovery, we're actually seeing a dominance of limit sell orders now on the order books on the spot market. So on the same price level, we're now seeing more limit sell orders than limit buy orders. So there has been this shift in basically the limit order dominance. So this is giving me the idea that maybe we might see another pullback, and that's why I showed you that it's likely that we have another, basically a fake out to the downside here first, and then we break out to the upside. That idea basically came from this chart here. And then looking at the futures markets, the futures markets in the last 8 hours have actually turned massively green, meaning that there's more buy limit orders on the futures side than limit sell orders. So the sellers are now losing power on the futures side, but the spot markets are basically still dominated by the limit sell orders. It's not a huge domination. The delta is only $40 million as of now, as of this moment, but it is still dominated by the limit sell orders. All in all, I'm still bullish, but I would like to kind of see a pullback to the downside first, and then we finally break to the upside. That's typically what happens as well, is that the it's not straight up. So that's basically it for that. And then looking at liquidation heat map, you can see that there's a lot of liquidations to the upside here, people who want to short, but not massive numbers. On the upside, just basically consistent liquidations all the way to $114,000. And then below the 100K, you can see almost a yellow color here, and not all of the liquidations in this zone got tagged yet. So there is a chance that we still go visit this area or even this liquidation pocket, which I've been hoping that we would visit, because we have the CME gap at $91,500. But it seems unlikely we will go there anymore, but I'm not discounting that possibility either. So even though this is my base case, I'm not 100% convinced that the price cannot go down to 90K either. So keep that in mind. Or even, let me show you the long-term view here. So here is one trend line that I'm currently looking at as an idea, because it has multiple tags here, that even if we go to this trend line here at some point, it doesn't have to be $85,000. It can come down here as well, and then it would be 90K, again tagging those that CME gap out of the way and those liquidations. So that is still a possibility, but my base case is still that we actually head to the upside here. Now, that is basically the video I got for you guys today. I hope you got value out of it. I hope you got some ideas for this week as well. Hope you click the like button, subscribe to the channel, maybe use my affiliate links, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks and bye bye.